Okay, this is Ringwalk Media in association with Redline Specialist Cars, Highland Whiskey Clan, and the Glove Box Management. Mr. Glenn Byrne, very nice to see you this evening. How are you?
How's it going, Jonathan? How are you? How are you keeping?
I'm very well, thank you. And looks like you are. A big smile on your face because you've got yourself at the Three Arena, no less. That's not bad, is it?
Yeah, very, very happy, mate. It's unbelievable. Huge platform, huge experience for me. Something I couldn't have imagined happening this soon into my career. So, yeah, I'm over the moon, mate.
Well, I'll tell you what. For those who are watching this that don't know, you have a rematch against Charlie Lopez for the BUI Celtic Super Welterweight title. This is a rematch of a fight that was unbelievable at the National Stadium last time out. I mean, it wasn't the result you wanted because it was a draw, but what a fight that was, mate.
Yeah, huge fight for me. We originally chased to fight James Freeman. I had agreed to fight him in the end of June in Galway. The show was pulled, and then it was presented to him to fight me on the Three Arena card, and he refused it for some strange reason. And the only other fight I wanted was Charlie Lopez. As I said, it was a good fight back in April. It was a fight that I look back on now, and it's quite obvious the mistakes we made, and if we can remove them small few mistakes, I win the fight. So at this stage of my career, I feel like having a blip of a draw on my record straight away overturn that and then push on to the next stage of my career. So yeah, it's one I'm really looking forward to. It's one that I know I have to be on top of my game to win, because coming into the fight, we didn't know much about Charlie. It's only afterwards, hearing and seeing, and obviously being in the ring with him, I know what he brings. So preparation, everything has to be on point. And so far, 4.5 weeks out, everything is going perfect for me. So
Well, it sounds like this is a fight that you're looking forward to. What's it like? Because obviously, when you're in the ring with someone like Charlie, and like you say, you don't really know that much about him until you're in the ring with him. When you have a fight like that, which was just full pelt from start to finish, and then you go back and you watch it like the next day or the day after or whatever it is, what's it like as a fighter to look back and go, right, yeah, I know I should have done that here and I should have done that. Do you enjoy that part of being a boxer?
being totally honest, this is the first time I've ever watched a fight back. The other fights I've had, I've never watched them back.
Right.
It was obviously because of the result, and this one I wanted to look back and see. One I wanted to see was, should I have won the fight?
Yeah.
I've watched it probably 5 or 6 times now, and I have a different outcome nearly every time I watch it. So I I'm open to say that the draw was the correct decision. I believe what let me down an awful lot was sitting on the ropes. I took too many stupid shots sitting on the ropes. Now bear in mind a lot of them were hitting arms and hitting gloves, but he was the aggressor. He was the more dominant front foot fighter. So I think when it came to boxing ability and it came to clean punches, I was far superior. But what let me down on the night was sitting on the ropes for too long. So yeah, watching it back, I can't say anything about the decision. I think it was the correct decision. It has obviously Jay has watched it multiple times as well. So we're working on correcting what went wrong in that fight. And I believe I genuinely believe once I correct them things, as you said, the pace from the get go, the pace was ridiculous. That's one thing that I need to change. But no, as I said, all is going well, and the things we're working on, I'm executing well. So I believe that come September, it will be a different showing, and I should be in a lot of better position than I was in April.
Well, it was a good fight, and on the night, I think it would have been a fair result, a win around either way. I think it was that kind of fight. You're no stranger to being in 50-50 fights because your brother pretty much put you in a 50-50 on your debut, didn't he? And
Yeah,
he's a big believer in, fighting people that are better than you or as good as you and testing yourself so that you learn. It seems to be paying off, mate, because I mean, you're 6 fights into your professional career. You already look like a 10 or 12 round fight, 10 or 12 round fighter.
yeah. Was one thing that we did say from the outset, that every fight I wanted to be in a learning fight. As you said, my debut against Alan Boy, that was like when I went out into the ring and straight away he caught me a heavy shot, it was a bit of a shock to the system. I was like, Jesus. But it obviously it's helped me progress. I've had one of my fights was a really poor fight against a journeyman called John Mosquera Henry, I think his name
Yeah.
is, and he was just on the back foot running for the whole fight, and I was really frustrated. I think that might have been my fourth fight, fourth or fifth fight, I can't remember, but
I think
it was a horrible.
it was your fifth fight, yeah, because you had
Yeah,
Octavian Gratti before that, 6 rounds with him, which is
right.
that's a
Gratty's
tough
a good
test.
journeyman. Yeah, he's a tough test and he will put you through the mill for 6 rounds. So whereas the other fighter, we had looked at him, he'd fought on a couple of matchroom bills and he looked like a good away fighter. So we were like, right, it's a good opponent at this stage of the career, but he just went on the back foot and it was a really frustrating night for me. More so on the basis of I had a lot of people come and spend their money and they're just watching some guy run and there wasn't much trading and so it
Yeah,
was frustrating. So it's like from that one on it was like right, I want to really be in 50-50 or entertaining fights. And then Charlie came around, which I would believe a lot of people thought that that was probably a gimme when it came to a Celtic title fight. And no, certainly not. He's a really good fighter. He
you
offered a lot more than more people would have expected. So it's one that I know once I write this wrong in September, it's one that will stand to me because it has changed me. The preparation for this camp is far superior than any of the preparation in other camps. So it's like it's probably right that it was a draw because it's after giving me a kick up the backside, and will help me going forward.
well, listen, let's talk about the future rather than the past. The kind of guy you are, I know that you will have gone in there with Jane. You'll be learning and you'll be doing what you need to do to get yourself into that position. You've got a huge opportunity here. You know, last time Wasserman did a TV show on Channel 5 in the UK, I think the viewing figures were 2.1 million. The Three Arena looks like it's going to sell out, a good 10,000 crowd. This is an opportunity very, very early on in your career to get eyes on you and, you know, maybe make the big boys open their eyes and come knocking.
Yeah, as you said, it's a huge opportunity. It's something I couldn't have expected happening this early, but I believe that one, the reason why I'm here is because I belong. I belong at this stage. I've put in the work. I obviously have the lack of amateur pedigree, but when it comes to the pro games, I believe that like I'm sparring people who have the long amateur pedigrees, and I'm matching them, or if not, I'm better than them. So that that at this stage now doesn't matter to me. I feel like I'm turning into a good professional. I live the life. I don't take any corners. As you said, was our man are huge. Their broadcasts in the UK are phenomenal. Like they pull some numbers. And I do think that if it's anything like the fight that it was, except for me being more classier, I will probably open a lot more eyes because it will. I genuinely do think I'll put in a really good performance. As I said in the Tree Arena, like thousands in attendance. I wouldn't have the biggest following outside of my own circle or outside of Dublin, kind of. So I'm looking forward to putting on a performance, letting people in Ireland see me. It's obviously incredible to be on Mick Conlans undercard. I've gone
Yeah.
up to Belfast to watch him many a times. I went over. I was in Nottingham when he fought Lee Wood. Obviously, not the result we would have wanted that night, but I followed Mick. And now for me to be on his undercard is it's amazing for me. I don't think it's actually registered to me how big it is. Obviously as it gets closer, it will. But I do think that after the fight, I will be known as a good fighter, a good solid fighter.
And the good thing is with that, you've got a, like you say, a BUI title there. If it is your night and you get that title, that's going to open up the floor for a lot of opportunities. Maybe not even just in Ireland, but over in the UK as well.
Yeah, so the aim is I've been saying it for a while now. I want to campaign at welterweight. It
Yeah.
was the fight against Freeman for well, Jay put in an application for this card to fight him at welterweight on this card, and then he refused to fight. So we went back to Charlie. Charlie couldn't do welterweight, so we've actually got it at 68.5 rather than the super welterweight limit.
Yeah.
So when I win this title, it'd be a matter of then going to welterweight and seeing what options are available. The same thing. I'm not leapfrogging my career or jumping too far ahead. I am doing it step by step, learning by learning, but they all have to be meaningful fights. And I did, like Jay advised me, Butch advised me, they take what's right at the right time. So I'm in good hands. I feel like Jay and Butch, they're the best promoters in Ireland and they're the best management. They get the opportunities, they run the most shows, they keep me active. There's nothing more I could want. So I know I have both of them in my corner. I am going to be led in the right direction, and it's up to me to put in the work, and it's up to me to take the opportunities that are given to me.
Well, it's funny because I remember being at your debut over in the Red Cow, and I sat down
Mm.
with Jay, your brother, who's also coaching you and managing you. And I said, "How are you going to do this? This is your brother. Surely brothers fight like cat and dog and have disagreements." I said, "How are you going to do it?" And he went, "He's special." And I tell
Mm.
you what,
Well,
you're 7 fights in, mate. You're proving him right.
yeah, it's Mary puts countless hours into me. And one thing about him is, like, I could go to him and say, I'm unhappy with X, Y, or Z, and he takes my opinion on board. And he's obviously a fairly fresh coach in the pro games, also.
Yeah,
I'd be his first pro boxer that he's coaching. So he knows himself that he has stuff to learn, and we're doing it together. We're both learning together. But if there's something that I'm unhappy with, for example, I'm going over to Holland now, in 2 weeks' time to train with Pete Taylor for a weekend to improve certain skills that I feel like let me down. And I mentioned it to Jay, and Jay said, I know the person. So he straight away reached out to Pete. So he's not one of these coaches who's arrogant and it's my way or the highway. He is open
yeah.
for discussion. He's open for opinions. And in this circumstances, I'm going abroad to learn stuff, and he sorted it for me. So as I said, genuinely, I don't think there's anybody better I could have in my corner. I'm very happy with it. He suits all the training to my times. I work shift work, I work nights, I work days. So he works around my schedule, which I'm really, really grateful for.
Well, listen, it sounds like you've got a good foundation from Jay and Butch, of course. We should mention Butch because Butch is the man that makes the shows work. All of
Yeah,
Jay's shows, he runs around like a headless chicken for like 3, 4 days, doesn't sleep. The man is an absolute machine, and he should be mentioned actually, Butch.
100%. He's an unsung hero in Irish boxing, not just with JB Promotions, but like the weekend he was up in Belfast for the Hammer boxing and Conlon boxing card, and the exact same thing, making sure it runs smoothly. His young fella Shane is another credit to Irish boxing. He whips all the shows. When any of the shows that are going on in Ireland, really, Butch makes a lot of them move. And then obviously for the JB promotions, he plays a huge part in that. Um, from minute one to the end of it, the likes of that, he's dropping people to the airports, and he makes sure that everybody's here. And he's very, very good. Even for me, like this morning, I was sparring, and him and well, obviously Jay was there, but Butch came out to me and watched the spar and done pads with me, gave me a bit of advice. So he does help me an awful lot. He's very, very good.
I'll tell you what, he's dropped me at the airport more often than not. I'll tell you at silly o'clock in the morning. Uh,
Yeah, he's some man, he is.
he is. I probably owe him breakfast by now, actually. Now, listen, not going away from the card. I'm going to come back to the card in a minute, but let's just talk about JB Promotions for a minute because fantastic news, some great shows all the way through. I think we're 18 months into JB Promotions now, or 20 months in, and
Yeah.
he's got a deal with Triller. So 10th of October, National Stadium, his second show there, and he's finally got Triller on board. It's a credit to Jay and what he's doing with these shows because these shows really, really, really are great shows.
Yeah, 100%. Over the last 18 months, he's knocked on doors. He's reached out to all the broadcasters in Ireland and the local broadcasters. None of them give him a sniff. He obviously then had the zone on the last, the April bill, which was obviously Jamie Conlon helped him get that, which was really good. And he's been knocking and knocking. And Triller. obviously in Europe, maybe in Ireland, anyways, it's maybe not too bigly known. But when you look at it, like they hosted a Mike Tyson fight, and like there is a lot of big events that have happened on Triller. So I think it's remarkable for them within the first 18 months with he has no backing. Like obviously, you look at some of the promoters in the UK, they've big financial backing, whereas Jay is literally just Jay and Butch have built it up from the ground.
Yeah.
They've run all the shows. He's obviously my brother. I talk to him every day. I know how frustrating some of the shows have been for him. How much he's lost. He's in the red more than he's in the green. He obviously has good help from sponsors and stuff like that, which keep him going. Because the shows don't run smoothly. They are tough, very stressful. But I believe, I would say over the next year, maybe year and a half, maybe the next 18 months, it will really pay for him. Like not money, but it's gonna be well worth his while because he is building a nice stable of fighters. He obviously the first year it was all about building fighters, but he does have a lot now that are probably 6, 7 and 0 that they will start getting the chances in England, and I do think that it will be a thing that he will get a few fighters signed with the major promoters, and I, as well, I would imagine that that's a manager's dream is delivering
Yeah.
deals for their fighters. So, now I say credit to him and Butch. As I said, no backing, no nothing, and they've taken it from the ground. And realistically, they're keeping Irish boxing going. Constantly putting on good 50-50 fights. This card now in October. They'll obviously all be released over the next couple of weeks. He has some solid 50-50 fights on the bill, which obviously we have in September with the Crocker and Donovan card up in Belfast, which is a fantastic event. Unbelievable fight. It's a good 50-50 Irish fight. And I think there's one other 50-50 Irish fight on the card, but there's no one else putting on 50-50 fights and multiple ones. So I do think it's a credit to the lads at JB Promotion for running them type of shows.
Yeah, listen, for people who are watching this and haven't been to one of Jay's shows over in Ireland, it's a 60 quid flight. Jump on the flight, go over and watch these shows because these shows are superb. There's lots of Irish talent. He sometimes puts the young amateurs on as well, gives them an opportunity at the beginning of the shows. And the atmosphere, it's always sold out. It's always sold out wherever he does a show, and the atmosphere is unbelievable. It's just great for boxing in general, let alone Irish boxing. And at a time when Irish boxing didn't really have anything either, it was starting again. So credit to Jay and JB and Butch and all you guys for sticking on there and making those shows really good. Now
Yeah.
listen, you're on a huge card. Mick Conlon, he is fighting a good friend of ours actually, Jack Bateson. I know
Mm,
both lads very well. This is a big crossroads for both fighters. Mick obviously wants to get back up on world honours. Jack hasn't been to the world level yet. He's been close to European level, but he's not been up there. Both of them have medalled as amateurs and even been in the same camps. So this is a
mm.
huge fight for them both. How do you see this going? And I'm not asking you for a prediction, but
Yeah,
it's a massive fight, isn't it, for a pair of them?
100%. I think for Mick, it's unbelievable for him to fight in Dublin, as he's mentioned multiple times. He spent his whole amateur career fighting out the national stadium. Dublin was his home. He's obviously had a couple of unfortunate losses in his career, and he's on the rebuilding stage. But I think Dublin is probably the perfect place for him because people kind of people forget about you when you're losing. And I really do think he will put on a special performance on September 5th, and it will reignite the country to get behind him. He's an unbelievable athlete. Has serious ability. I think I could be wrong in saying this, but I think he actually is Ireland's greatest ever amateur boxer, or due to medals. I'm not 100% sure, but he is exceptional. Like he's someone who like thousands in the country look up to. But
Yep.
as I said, unfortunately, in sport, when you're losing, people fall off the wagon and they don't respect, or not respect, but they don't follow your career as much. So I really do think that he'll put on a really good performance in September and get the country behind him again because he is exceptional, and I do believe he will win a world title.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be some atmosphere because I know Jack Bateson isn't coming to lie down. So the fight itself, it's just got absolute war written all over it. And we know Mick likes a war, and I know Jack likes a war. So it's in
Yeah.
Ireland's in for a treat that weekend, and of course you're on it as well. Um,
And then as well, two of the stable mates as well. Sennon's in
yeah,
a very good fight, a good 50-50 fight as well with Ben Marksby. The same thing. I'm in a good 50-50 fight. Paul Lunham, who is an unbelievable boxer, he's on the undercard. So I do think it will be a really, really good night. Hopefully the three arena. Well, hopefully Ireland come out and support their own. I know in Matchroom are building the cards in the three arena. They were selling out and they got good support. So I'm
yeah.
hoping it's the same. I know the reaction to me being on the bill has been really, really good for me. My tickets seem to be growing every fight. So I'm grateful for that. I do think at the start, I don't know if I mentioned an interview with yourself or with someone before, like I didn't come from a big boxing background. So when I was asking people to buy tickets, they were like, oh, well, you weren't boxing 6 months ago, you weren't this. So
Yeah.
now it's like I've dedicated 2 years of my life now has been all boxing, just living the life, and I feel like I'm reaping the rewards for it. And I see that through the support I'm getting, which I'm very, very grateful for. So I'm hoping that September 5th will be a special night.
Now listen, you know I love a bit of a ring walk, right? Hence the name of
Yeah.
our company. Um, the Free Arena ring walk is one of the biggest ring walks there is in boxing, right? Have you got anything special planned? Have you got a good special song to get the locals jumping?
No, do you know what, Jonathan? I for past fights and that I've literally like I remember Terry Kavanagh,
Yeah,
he was emceeing and he sang me out to the ring. I've focused on what I do. I genuinely this time nothing outside of fighting matters to me. Like I was organising after parties after last fights and before the fight, and genuinely this time nothing matters to me other than fighting. I don't care for anything else. All I want to do is just get into the ring and perform. So that's the only thing on my mind.
does that mean I can do it then?
Yeah, you fired away.
Oh dear, I would stitch you right up.
I'd say so.
Now listen, very important. You mentioned about tickets, mate. I know that the place is, not quite sold out, but it's getting close to being sold out. Have you got a few left that people can come and get them from? And if so, where can they get them?
Yeah, so I still have a handful of tickets left. There obviously is some online, but as mentioned, and I've mentioned it lots of times, buying tickets through the boxers helps the boxer, and then also helps you because you don't pay service charges. And some of the companies charge you crazy money for service charges. So I do have tickets if anybody's looking. I have got you with support for this one that I am really, really grateful for. But if anybody is looking, there's tickets. I have €50 tickets, €120 tickets. I think to go to a card in the Tree Arena, €50 to watch an icon of Irish boxing, Michael Conlon, is really good money. As I said, Sennon's in an exceptional fight. I'm in a big fight. Charlie Edwards, ex-world champions on the bill.
He
So,
is.
and Kieran Malloy, who was a serious up-and-coming Irish boxer. Like, it's a really good card. Dean Walsh, Irish Olympians on the card. So it's a stacked card. But if anybody is after tickets, I do have some. And as I just mentioned, it helps a boxer if you purchase tickets through them. So I'll be grateful for that.
And they can get you on Instagram. Is that where they can get hold of you?
Yeah, just send me a DM on Instagram. Regardless of where you live, I'll post the tickets out to you. Or I'll drive and meet you, whatever it is. As I said, it helps me, it benefits me. So if I can hand deliver tickets to you and thank you for supporting my career, I'd be grateful to do that.
And of course, as you well know, 7 fights into your career, sponsors, without them, it's impossible to do what you're doing. Give them a bit of a shout out. And if you can't
Yeah,
remember them all, we'll tag them.
yeah, no, 100%. As you said, sponsorship is it's what keeps me going. As I said, I'm going over to Holland now shortly. Training like trips like that. I was over in England to start the year. Trips like that are paid for by sponsors. My training camps, paying for nutritionists, paying for gear. So I'd like to thank Career Vision recruiters. They helped me out massively. The Lock-In Pub, Wes Hammond minibuses, Matten Security Installations, Tammy, Ian Coyle Carpentry, the Barrel Sauna. Um, Solutions, Ireland, electrical company who helped me out massively. Metway is an English company who have helped me, and I hope I'm not forgetting anyone. But I will tag them all. And as I said, I'm very, very grateful for the support from everyone.
Did I hear Lock In Pub? I need to know where that one is.
Yeah, so that's my local pub, only up the road there. Since I announced it was going pro, they were straight away on to me. They wanted to sponsor me. They've sponsored me the 2 years now. They're very good to me. They buy tickets to all my fights. Before the fights, I try and get a crowd to go up. And Wes Hammond Minibuses, who is another sponsor,
Yeah.
he'll drive a minibus of fans out. And so I am. They help me out massively, which I'm very grateful for.
Well, listen, mate, you've earned your right. You know, it's going to be a great rematch. We know this one's going to be a bit of a stormer. Um,
Mm.
Fingers crossed you get the result you want, and this should hopefully open up a few more doors for you the next year of your career. All I can say, mate, is the best of luck. You've earned your right, as I said, and we will be there. I'm not missing this one for the world. So, looking forward to seeing you, mate. Best of luck with the rest of camp. Hope Holland goes well, and fingers crossed it is your night on the night, mate.
Thank you very much, Jonathan, and I really appreciate you giving up your time. And yeah, sure, I'll see you on fight night. I appreciate you coming over, and for you and all other media companies, you're the ones who help boxers help us get the likes of views and get our names out there. So, very, very grateful for your time.
Well, that's what we're here for, mate. Listen, best of luck. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you over there in a few weeks.
See you later, Jonathan.